Over the course of the past couple of months, I've been building Project 2 that you see behind me. I had a fantastic week last week finishing all the exterior styling, and now it's time to get inside, get some of the walls all finished and sorted, and start ticking off the long list of final things to get it completed from a customer over the course of the next couple of weeks. So for all of the returning viewers, thanks very much for being subscribed and coming back to us. For all the new people, there's always chapters along the bottom of the video which will literally jump to a different specific part that you might be interested in. I do encourage you to watch the whole video, give it a like at a very minimum, and if you do like it and you want to come back, then subscribe. I'm Dan, this is Crafted Camperco, and here we build bespoke, high-level, luxury campervans. I like to video the whole process and put it on YouTube every week, and you can see how the builds are progressing, and that's because I'm in the business of building high-level, luxury campervans. So a little bit of a to-do list on what needs to be achieved, especially this week, so then I can progress and get the final steps of the van done. We've got the water garage done over in that far corner. That's all plumbed in now. All of the water levels are all hooked up to the touchscreen, which we'll get onto. All the electrical garage is now plumbed in. All of the wires are all soldered detached, and other than the appliances which I've not yet put into the van, everything's all hooked up. As you can see, the Vandermoon rear doors, they're all in place, they're looking fantastic. And now you can see that I'm just starting to measure up for things like the fridge and the kitchens that are going into the van. One thing that I've done off camera, mainly because it's a two-man job and there's only one of me, is to put the final wall in. So as you can see there with the side pod integrated into it, a lot of wrestling, finally successfully installed this wall. I'm dead proud of this wall because it's completely fixtureless. There's no screws or fittings or anything anywhere on. It's completely solid, including the trim ring that goes into the side pod. The window is completely faultless around there. And one big thing which I didn't realise when ordering the covers, so we've got custom made covers for all of the windows, and these are magnetic. Whereas the window is not. So what I've done is I've integrated magnets into the window surround. So into the window there, the magnets are on the wall, which is lovely. And you can open it halfway, you can open it a quarter of the way. You've got, lovely flexible options there for however you want it to be. Quite happy with that. Really seamless and solves a problem. And now, because we have both of these walls in, it means I can finally cut the frame for the bedding. As soon as we get the bed in, I then know how far we're coming forward, and more specifically what height we're coming forward to with the bed. And that'll then allow me to measure up and do the full final plans for the two kitchens at the front. Until I get this wall in and the bed in and all of the heights and everything, as you can tell, it stops me being able to progress the build forward in other ways. The first part of the bed frame is the bits on the side. So just lined, when I did all my measurements and holes and everything before I put the walls on, I just lined it up to come with the top of the side pod. Once the battens are across, then essentially the bed will come to the top of here, and you'll just have your mattress which is on top. My idea being that you've got a little bit of room there, like almost like a built-in shelf for your phone or for your book or whatever. And of course your feet and head can go top and bottom into the side pod itself. And the way that the bed's fixed in is with some tech screws. So there's 4 tech screws on either side. These will just go through the wood material panel into the metal. Be plenty strong enough to hold the bed up. First 2 parts are in. Get the big boards now. Just like the bed's in. Let's see how strong it is. I'm 6'3" and about 85 kilos. That's not going anywhere. Not very comfortable right now, but it can be forgiven. Now that the bed is in, I've got a really nice basis. Like, it's such a massive part to need to know exactly where the height's going to be and exactly where it's going to come to. It has an effect on everything else in the rest of the van. So the next part is to do the partition in between the bed and the living area, underneath the bed, garage and the living area. So I've mocked up a template a few weeks ago for the wheel wells. And now that I know the height, this bed purposely overlaps its final beam. And so with that, I'm going to, first of all, this is going to be the countertop height. It's roughly where countertops usually are, ever so slightly lower than what you'd normally have in a kitchen. But you're in a campervan, so that can be forgiven. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the countertop just below where the bed comes. So then you've got an extra bit of space back here, usable space underneath for, it's going to be about the size of a wine rack, so you could probably guess what I'm going to put in there. So first of all is the dividers. That's going to be made up of one piece on the driver's side, one piece on the passenger side, and then I've got an idea and a step which will then help you jump up onto the bed. So let's get cracking. So this is the divider for the bed, and I decided to do it in one piece, just a nicer finish up the top. You're probably never going to see it, but hey ho. And this is going to be the step, which of course once it's all lifted up, you're going to lift this up. You've got a step up onto the bed, and then you've also got a hole through into the garage. So any longer items or anything, this can either can easily lift then into there. And there's a couple of magnets just down here, so once it's in position, those get magnetized on and you can just lock it into place. The one thing which, because I want it flush with the laminate on either side, I've just been playing with a couple of different ways just to attach and fix that in. Of course, once it's in the van, it's going to be, it can't go anywhere sliding down, so I might just put in a couple of dowels to hold it in place with a bit of glue. I've got the cam lock systems, which you normally get with like flat pack furniture, so that's where a screw comes in, and normally on a right angle you then work. Let me get one. So I've been playing about with one of these, where you've got the hole in there, that locks in, and then you tighten that screw, and it sucks it together. So that's one option. But although that's a great option, and it does work when it's flat like that, one kind of head scratcher that I've got is how do I get it all in and fixed? Because only one side can go in. There's a screw like that extending out past. So what I might do is, I think these need to potentially be set on the left hand side there, so then I can go in with the screws and lock them into place. I'm thinking, I'll get there. After racking my brain for way too long, I thought I'd just keep it simple. I've put some dowels in the sides and the top, and then the corresponding holes then. Just used the router to go up the sides there for these side ones to go in, and then two regular holes with a drill. At the top, it doesn't need to be like fixed in place. The gravity will hold it in place. All we need to do is just stop it from falling backwards or forwards, which these 4 dowels will do. Putting them in like this as well, especially with the last openings being on the bottom of this divider, just means that it's going to be completely fixtureless, which is my favourite thing. Really got the divider in, it's cut to shape, and the steps in. Here's how this is looking. Very, very good if I do say so myself. Like I said, we've got the hole there for the pipe from the diesel heater to come in and through, and then the hot and cold for the tap. And then this is the entryway to the garage, which just nicely folds down like that. So then you've got to step up onto the bed, and you can also either put longer items or get into the garage with anything you may need. I'm a big fan of that. It's a lovely finish, completely fixtureless, up, round and down. I put a nice plinth underneath just to finish that off. So that now excitingly takes us to the huge part of doing the big bits of furniture. So as you can see already inside, we've got the big fridge, and we've got the oven that we're putting into the van, and also the sink. And so what we need to do is kind of have everything all in. We're having a bit of a draw at the minute, just making sure that all the measurements and everything are all right before we start cutting the laminate and ordering the compact laminate countertop, which is planned for this van. And it's going all right. We're just about to do the first cut on the big sheet, so I'm going to time lapse it all because we're not 100% on exactly how we're going to do it just yet, but you'll soon see from the plans that we've got. We're going to go up, round, create a little lip to make it a bit easier to get up into the bed, and then down, and then that's the first parts of the cabinets then made. With the construction of the laminate, I have cut all of the pieces into the design. You can see we've got the fridge pull, which would pull out the front, and once all of these are collapsed in, we've then got some room for some drawers behind and a cupboard at the bottom. So the way that I'm going to fix all of these together is by using dowels and cam lock. So regular wooden dowels with wood glue, and then cam locks. So you've probably seen these on flat pack furniture when you bought from IKEA and so on. But this goes into a little plastic nub on like the bottom of one of these. So we'll have a few standing up on the side of this. And then you drill with a forcing a bit, you drill a hole this size into the piece that goes on top. This then fits into that hole and locks onto that screw, just like IKEA. Good way to build the furniture, really strong way to build with it, especially combining it with the dowels. Everything should start to come together now. I think that I'm going to take some time in doing is just making sure that whenever you obviously drilling into two different parts, you need them to align perfectly, which is why I've put them all onto the sheet down there. So then I can plan it all out way before I even drill the first hole. What I'm going to do first is cut the holes into here, which will be for the cupboard and drawers, and then I'm going to cut this one to shape, so then it's going to cut around the fridge, and there's also going to be a pull-out drawer on the top here. Unfortunately, one of the laminate sheets which I've been working on, I want down there, and it's just going to be the front sheet on. Running a cut through, it's just caused some tear out. I think there's a few different things which I'm going to be doing on every single cut now, which is just putting tape on and really pressing it down whenever I'm doing the cut. Letting the blade spin up fully before I actually plunge down and cut into it. And the jigsaw that I've got is not, I don't think it's good enough for laminate, but the blade's not a laminate blade, it's just a fine timber blade. So on the insides of the cut, because this blade's thinner than what the track saw is, I'll be able to go to the waist side and trim the waist. It doesn't matter if you get cut out on the waist, and then potentially just sand down the inside of the little trim. Because when you're running the circular saw up to what will be a right angle, because it's circular, it'll only take you so far, it won't take you all the way right up to the right angle. And then order some laminate blades for my jigsaw. It's a nice stress to add to what is a lot of work to do with very expensive materials. So you can see all laid out on the ground. We've got the hole for the couple of drawers and a cabinet below, and we've got some of the cam locks and dowels in place. So a good one to look at is just this here. So as this panel is lifted onto its side, there's room for a dowel to be glued in, and then this screw will go in and through into that hole. This lock system goes onto it, and then once you twist it, it pulls and tightens it together. I've decided as well, because it's in a camper van, some of the hidden places I'm going to put some pocket screws as well. I can't see any harm in putting them in, and it's only going to make it stronger and let it stand the test of time for a bit longer. All the pieces are cut now, so we have the bottom, the right hand side, a hole there for the wires to come through to power the fridge, induction, etc. We have the inner piece with a hole for the drawers and cupboards. We have the middle divider which goes behind the fridge, and the back plate, which then also have a router slip through them, so then I can put a back plate in. The front plate, which is just there, which goes in front of the fridge. And then there's also a kick plate which is attached now to the slide. I have radius and edge banded. As you can see there, you'll get a much better view once it's all put together. And now that it's all ready down there, we're going to dry fit and put it all together for the first time. One of the biggest things when you are doing any sort of measuring, cutting, building is if you get the measurements wrong, I feel like an absolute idiot. Something so simple. Thankfully on this occasion all the measurements have gone right. So whilst cutting, edge banding and really committing to such a snug fit in the van, especially with where the fridge is going to be, it's really satisfying that the frame fits perfectly into there. And then with it being a moving part, that also adds an extra level of complexity. Slot back and locking it in, it fits perfectly and snugly within the lines. It's really rewarding. We're working some late nights to make sure that this is done, so when things like that go right, it feels very good. Here's the first shell in its place. Looks bloody brilliant. Now cut and just lining up all the screws, getting ready for the other side. It's all very much a go this week. We've got quite a tight deadline to get this van completed on time. Recording has then fallen a little bit by the by, but I'll try to keep you up to date as everything is progressing. One of them is the main cabinet. I believe now everything's done on it. So where the fridge slider is going to go and pull out, this is all together. There is some more drawers and things to put in and on that side, but we've got two USBs coming out here. The countertop's going to be on top there with the hob on the top. We've got the little crafted Campervan medallion. Got an extra outlet, so the fridge and the hob. The fridge is 12 volt and 240 volt, so we've got a lighter fuse there for the 12 volt and then a 230 volt underneath. But the most important thing with them is nothing's going to be hard wired. You can, if you need to, for maintenance or whatever, you can set that fridge completely out and unplug them. You're not having to snip any wires. And then there's a second plug there on the junction box, which is for the induction hob. Don't think you'll ever need to set that out, but because I was already putting it in, might as well use it. Let's go try to put it in the van. With the long to-do list growing ever shorter and the time that I've actually got to complete the build growing ever shorter as well, we've come to the point in this video where I'm just going to finish it now, and very soon, only a few days into the future, you'll be able to see the final video for Project 2, exactly how it looks like with all of the countertops on, with all of the final finish, a full valet ready for my customer. I'm working to very tight deadlines now, and so I'm under a good amount of pressure just to get this done, get this delivered, and then on to the future projects. But I can't wait to show you next week. Please subscribe and follow along and turn on notifications as well when you do subscribe, and you'll get that final reveal video within a few days. I'll do it as quick as I possibly can. Cheers.